Nigeria is the largest economy in Africa, with a backbone in oil refining and agriculture. However, if Nigeria is to truly transform its economy by leaps and bounds, it has to fully establish its manufacturing sector. Nigeria's population density puts it in a similar position to China in the 80s and early 90s, when the country was transitioning from a closed economy to a capitalist one. The stage is set and Nigeria has the spotlight on the continent right now as all of Africa looks to see what Nigeria's next move would be. As we look toward what Nigeria will be, it's also important to see how Nigeria truly is today and understand the different scenarios that can take place. Before we continue with the video, please take a moment to hit the like button and enable our content to reach more people. Now, let's get back to our video. So, today, Nigeria is still Africa's largest economy, and the manufacturing, financial, service, communications, technology, and entertainment industries are all growing in Nigeria's diverse, middle-income economy, which is also an emerging market. In terms of nominal GDP, it is the 27th largest economy in the world, and in terms of purchasing power parity, it is the 24th largest. Despite Nigeria's obvious economic strength, the country's quick population increase has not been kept up with by the predominantly subsistence agricultural sector. Nigeria used to be a significant net exporter of food, but it now imports a portion of its food supplies. There has been a shift towards food sufficiency as a result of mechanization, which has revived food product manufacture and exportation. For Nigeria to truly become better than it is today, an entirely new economic policy is to be developed, and some experts have cited that this can be done with a China-style policy that promotes a free market and rapid industrialization. Over the past 40 years, China has lifted nearly 800 million people out of poverty. China did not pioneer industrialization, but in the 30 years that followed, it rose from abject poverty to become the world's most powerful economy. But how did China accomplish this? Chinese authorities initially support infrastructure. They were aware that the modern economy depends on a stable rail, electrical, and telecommunication systems. So, China spent more on them than any other country in the world. The 21st Century Maritime Silk Road, its most recent infrastructure plan, is expected to cost $1 trillion. China is improving its rural infrastructure to the level of middle-income countries in order to connect with its neighboring Asian nations. Following that, China plans to deploy effective road and rail transport systems to connect the entire nation to the rest of the world. What nation has such a bold plan? Prior to all the aforementioned successes, China was aware of the harm that corruption could do to its ambitions. Since 2001, the leadership has penalized well over 1 million party officials, with excellent results. Numerous high-ranking officials have been arrested as a result of the anti-corruption effort. China has executed numerous high officials for stealing and misappropriation of state funds. Nigeria should learn from China's infrastructure expenditures, but it also needs to fight corruption with extreme vigor and force. The world is in awe of China's breathtakingly quick rise to global economic dominance. How did it succeed? The Economist researched Chinese companies and produced solutions. We completely concur with the magazine from London. We're summarizing the responses to serve as an example for Nigeria. The goals always outweigh the means. China doesn't engage in ethical trade. Its international trade and manufacturing rivalries are unlawful, fierce, and unfair. China is the country where the most copyright theft occurs. It uses governmental machinery to spy on corporate secrets in order to steal technology for its industries. It has plagiarized technology from numerous international brands, including Toshiba, General Electric, Siemens, and others, and created its own goods, often exact replicas of foreign goods with Chinese names. The Hao truck is a knockoff of the DAF, while the Hiace is a knockoff of the Toyota Hiace, among other brands. 5 Chinese military officers broke into American information, solar, and nuclear companies in 2014. The incident has been reported to the World Trade Organization and the International Court of Justice. China makes goods of high quality at affordable prices. It creates goods with low quality and inexpensive prices ideal for developing nations. It manufactures anything based on requirements that match the affordability of the buyer. China has seized global dominance in the motorcycle, electronics, and automobile sectors from Japan and Korea because it produces goods at lower costs. 90% of the televisions, air conditioners, and bicycles in the world are made in China. It effectively barred Korea and Japan from the market. China has had market control over virtually everything produced on Earth since it joined the World Trade Organization in 1968. Rare earth, a metal used for the production of automobiles and electronics, is only found commercially in only one nation. China deprives the world of the metal and only sells it to its own businesses, giving them an advantage over rivals from other countries. Unless businesses share their technology and trade secrets, China denies them access to its market. Apple, Siemens, Samsung, and Sony have all experienced it. Blackmail is one way China wields its power to obtain contracts for its businesses from other nations. For its own growth strategy, Nigeria can take a leaf out of China's book. China has been promoting inclusive finance in an effort to provide loan facilities to less well-off people and small businesses. This is due to the fact that people in rural areas, small and medium-sized businesses, entrepreneurs, and people without credit histories sometimes struggle to get funding and must turn to the black market for loans that are frequently offered at exorbitant interest rates. Medium and large-size banks must establish departments for inclusive finance according to rules published by the China Banking Regulatory Commission. The policy enables access to loans for the underprivileged, including the disabled. The first stage of growth is to make financing easily accessible to smaller borrowers. This is due to the fact that small and medium-sized enterprises (SMEs) account for over 60% of China's GDP. Nigeria is different. The government seems unconcerned with the fact that no business or person can obtain a loan. Consumers and SMEs are compelled to take loans from a variety of lenders, including family and friends and monolenders. But these loans are frequently insufficient to fund a business's startup. Even then, the government is all over the place with various taxation and extortion schemes designed to crush the firm. The Chinese authorities realized that persons with no credit history and no assets could not obtain bank loans. It was accompanied by a policy requiring banks to offer such loans with or without collateral and to set aside funds to cover losses in the event of failure. SMEs will save time and money when receiving financing thanks to the expanding social credit system, which aims to give financial institutions a credit history, and the new obligation for larger banks to increase their lending capacity to these smaller customers. The impoverished are lifted out of poverty by receiving loans. Dangote's wealth is a result of his collateral, debt history, and capacity to obtain bank loans, rather than because he is more intelligent or more productive than others. Without SMEs, Nigeria cannot flourish, and SMEs cannot expand without financing. The sooner the government is aware of this, the quicker the country can match economic progress. Politicians and rent seekers can borrow money from Nigerian banks. They support consumption rather than production. Banks lend money to the National Assembly in billions to buy automobiles rather than providing money to individuals and SMEs to build auto factories. For Nigeria to advance, this mentality must be altered. So, is the future of Nigeria bright? Well, yes and no. Yes, in the sense that the economy's growth trajectory is likely to keep rising. However, if stringent measures aren't taken to ensure that the economy diversifies itself enough, then this growth will be limited and finally collapse. We definitely believe in the strength and resolve of the Nigerian people to come out on top no matter what. So, we're keeping an optimistic view on the future of Nigeria. Nigeria has a lot of work to do on its economy, but in our personal opinion, Nigeria will be far better off in the future, and we can't wait to see this change take effect. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and also don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can become an official member of our family of touristers here on The New Tourist. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.